Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir.
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 Thank you. Let me just give around another 3 minutes. I will just wait for the others before I start. So, what we're going today, ako anay ang unang ma-present with regards to the Department of Tourism. So, I don't want nga ma-miss ang iban. So, I want to have at least another 3 to 4 minutes before I start. Okay? So, I will be back in around 3 minutes. Thank you. Can you see my presentation?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, again, guys, good morning. Sir JR here. We are going to start with our presentation for today. Before I proceed, let me just check kung may ara pa iba niya nagasulod. Currently, I have 79 students with me. I think I have a complete attendance as of the moment. And I have prepared a slide regarding sa Department of Tourism. Okay, so I would like to ask sang inyong full attention on the topic that we are going to discuss today, after which we are going to have some sort of like a question and answer later on at the end of my presentation. Okay, supposedly this presentation will be discussed by one of my friends who are working in Department of Tourism, but she is now on quarantine. So she sent me her presentation and she wants to extend her apologies for not being able with us today, but she has promised that once she is able and back to work, Then she will also give her own presentation. So i-schedule ko na lang siya later on. Can I have a thumbs up, raise hand for those who are able to see my presentation, please? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Great. Okay, sige. Okay. So, before anything else, no? Why Department of Tourism? Okay, so can I start now? Okay na?
Yes, sir.
sir.
Okay, great.
Yes,
Thanks.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, let me also
Yes, sir.
remind you. Let me also remind you that our presentation is being recorded and this will be uploaded sa YouTube channel nga gina-maintain ko for the purpose nga if you want to rewatch kung ano ang ato niya na-discuss today, then you have the chance, okay, nga malantaw nyo liwat. So again, why Department of Tourism? Okay, so as we all know, ang akon diri mga students who are presently watching are all BS Tourism Management student, BSTM students. And since supposedly dapat nga summer, you are going to be deployed sa mga public entities like the Provincial Tourism and Cultural Affairs Office, Department of Tourism Rojas City, and other public entities maintained by the government because of the pandemic. And I think it is very impossible kay even these offices does not accept guests at the moment. We have decided to bring the office to our students. Okay? So I would like to seek sang inyo gid nga participation and then at the same time sang inyo nga understanding if there are some topics nga sometimes hindi natin ma-discuss thoroughly because I still believe that the best way for you students to learn is para sa inyong hands-on nga mga experiences. Now, I am not saying when you are deployed sa mga offices, you are going to make coffee or let's say answer telephone, but harnessing, no? Gina-harness ang inyong mga skills and abilities. So susubong, ara kamo sa public, sa government, and then later on, you will be transferred to the private. Now, let me also inform you sa akon, diri sa office ko with the Amazing Discoveries Travel and Tours. If not, I think most of them are all my OJT students. So OJT students ko ina sila tanan, they were able to finish sang ilang training sa Amazing Discoveries Travel and Tours. They were able to finish it and then after which I hired them. Okay? So if not for the pandemic, sige-sige tani ang operation of the business. However, because of the situation we're currently in right now, I had to lay them off. Pero before ko na sila lay off, most of them were able to travel together with me. We were able to go to China, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Hong Kong, which naga-join sila sa amon mga guests whenever we have these guests who are traveling to different parts of the world as tour coordinator. Okay, now, our topic is very timely, the Department of Tourism, and with the slogan currently we have in place, it's more fun in the Philippines. Okay, so let's start. So I am not going to read everything here because it will be very boring on the part of the students, but I am only going to give you some of the most important details that I believe most essential nga mabalaan sa mga students who are listening sa akon subong. Okay? Now, for the introduction. So, the Department of Tourism or the Kagawaran ng Turismo, the DOT, is the executive department of the Philippine government responsible for the regulation of the Philippine tourism industry and the promotion of the Philippines as a tourist destination. It is also in charge that are primarily charged with the responsibility to encourage, promote, develop tourism as a major socio-economic activity to generate foreign currency and employment, and to spread the benefits of tourism to both the public and the private and public sector. Now, ang Department of Tourism, isa lang ini sa mga attached nga agencies or agency sang executive department. Okay? So, in Tagalog, kagawaran ng turismo or ang balaan natin niya DOT. So, we have the DOT Central Office, which is located in Manila, and then we have the DOT regional offices in every region all over the Philippines. So, ano ang pinaka-work sang Department of Tourism? Okay? It is for the promotion of the tourism industry as well as the Philippines as a tourist destination within sa mga Filipino as well as abroad. That is why they have partnered with travel agencies, different travel agencies associations, and different stakeholders para mabuligan ang Department of Tourism to promote Philippines in and out of the country. That is why nga madamo kita sang mga ginatawag na mga travel fair. We have a Travel Trade Expo. We have the travel fair on February, August, December because of this. Okay? So, ang pinaka-goal gid sang tourism is to generate foreign currency employment. Nga kung madamo kita sang visitors who are visiting Philippines, of course, ang demand for employees will go high as well. Ang demand para sa aton nga hotel sectors, accommodation sectors, ang demand for those tour guides nga pagagamiton sa mga guests, ang demand para sa transportation services. But after that one, COVID happened. So what happened? Naglaylo ang tourism. Since last year, March 2020, ang tourism bagsak gid up to now. That is why ang Department of Tourism right now is helping in coordination, in partnership with the private and public sector para ma-revive natin amat-amat ang tourism. Nag-start na ini with Boracay, Cebu, Siargao, Davao, nga ginaamat-amat na nila pasulod ang mga guest diri sa mga tourist destination. Now, of course, with the COVID currently nga gina-experience natin subong, it is a little bit difficult na makakuha kita sang damo gid nga tourists from abroad because of the situation nga kinahanglan anay nila mag RT-PCR test. So that is an additional expense para sa mga guests who are planning to visit Philippines. That is why nga ang ginaubra subong sa Department of Tourism is encouraging Filipinos to visit sa mga tourist spots diri sa Philippines. So for example, sa Region 6 sang Department of Tourism, nagahambal nga ang mga Ilonggo, ang ara sa Panay, go and visit Boracay, go and visit Capiz, Antique, because that's in one way of another helping nga pwede naton ma-revive ang aton nga tourism industry. Okay, so for the history, the Department of Tourism started as a private initiative to promote the Philippines as a major travel destination. The Philippine Tourist and Travel Association was organized in 1950. In 1956, the Board of Travel and Tourist Industry was created by Philippine Congress. As stipulated in the Integrated Reorganization Plan in 1972, sanctioned as a law under Presidential Decree No. 1 as amended, the Department of Trade and Tourism was established, reorganizing the then Department of Commerce and Industry. The Department of Tourism started as a private initiative to promote the Philippines as a major travel destination. The Philippine Tourist and Travel Association was organized in 1950. So if we are going to look at the history of the Department of Tourism, it all started way back in the 1950 with the main goal of what? To promote the Philippines as a major travel destination. Okay, continuation. So in 1956, the Board of Travel and Tourist Industry was created by the Philippine Congress, and as stipulated in the Integrated Reorganizational Plan in 1972, the Department of Trade and Tourism was established, reorganizing the then Department of Commerce and Industry. And if you're going to look at the bottom part of our PowerPoint, in 2003, the Department of Tourism initiated one of its most successful tourism promotion project, Visit Philippines 2003, under Secretary Richard J. Gordon, which is now an incumbent senator. Okay, so if you are going to look at the transparency seal, no? So, excuse me, pasudlon ko lang ang iban. Okay, so here, if you're going to look at the Philippine Transparency Seal, so a pearl buried inside a tightly shut shell is practically worthless. Government information is a pearl meant to be shared with the public in order to maximize its inherent value. So, isa ini sa Philippine Transparency Seal, which is, this is the pearl that we are looking here, of course, with the sun and with the 8 rays of the sun. Okay, so the transparency seal, depicted by a pearl shining out of an open shell, is a symbol of a policy shift towards openness in access to government information. Okay, so sino ang nag-govern sa Department of Tourism? So we have the Secretary of Tourism, which is ang aton nga incumbent Secretary of Tourism is si Bernadette, Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat. So, the Office of the Secretary, so let me go through kung ano ang mga offices, ano ang ilang mga role that are attached with the Department of Tourism under the Executive Department. So, first one is the Office of the Secretary. So, the Office of the Secretary provides leadership, direction, and substance to the overall operations of the department. It formulates policies, plans, programs, rules, and regulations, reviews and evaluates the performance of the Tourism Master Plan, and advises the President on all matters affecting the tourism program of the country. Another one is the tourism promotion sector. The tourism promotion sector has the primary function of promoting the Philippines as a tourist destination domestically and internationally. It devises integrated marketing and promotional activities such as information dissemination, number 1. Number 2, public relations. Number 3, special events. And number 4, tourism-related programs. The tourism services and regional offices sector. So the tourism services and regional office sectors are tasked to ensure the pleasant entry, stay, and exit of tourists. It formulates standard of quantity and efficiency for tourism-oriented establishments, among others, done through an accreditation system. That is why, sa amon nga mga travel agency, for example, we have the accreditation na ginakuha namon sa Department of Tourism. Now, it is a quality seal o pud sang quality seal na ginahatag sang DOT. It is meant to protect the travelers, the tourists, that they are being serviced by accredited tour guide, accredited travel agency, or accredited nga mga transportation services sang Department of Tourism. Of course, it is for safety. Okay, another one is the tourism planning, product development, and coordination sector. So the tourism planning, product development, and coordination sector is responsible for the formulation and updating of the Tourism Master Plan together with its component programs. The sector monitors the effective implementation of the Tourism Master Plan and, in coordination with the private sector and other government institutions, develops and conceptualizes new products and investment opportunities designed to enhance tourist sites and facilities. So there is a tourism planning, product development, and coordination sector non-stop ang ilang pag-ubra dire. Nga they are trying to develop and conceptualizes new products. Ano bala ang mga emerging tourist destinations? What are the investment opportunities para sa aton yung mga investors? What are the necessary things that we need to improve para nga ma-enhance naton ang aton mga tourist sites and facilities? And lastly, what are the steps that needs to be done para maka-attract kita sang damo pa nga mga turista? Okay? Now, the vision and mission of Department of Tourism. So, ang vision, the 2006 State of the Nation, the Central Philippines to be the country's premium tourist destination on account of its range of natural attraction and cultural heritage. The Department of Tourism aims to improve accessibility of travel destinations, make tourism products better and more affordable, promote a culture of tourism among local residents, and increase recognition of tourism as an effective and efficient tools towards socio-economic development of the Philippines. Now, let me guys inform you, no, nga ang Department of Tourism working with the tourism industry, and tourism industry being one of the main driver sa revenues of the Philippines is actually working very hard nga makabalik kita subong on where we were before. Let's say for example in Boracay, damo sang guest who were able to visit Boracay way back before COVID. Pero subong nga nagka-COVID, it's like totally na-wash out ged. Damo sang hotel ang nag-close, even restaurants, damo man sang mga tour guides who were displaced of their works, boatmen, mga nagabaligya sa mga souvenir. That is why, nga sa subong sa amon, we are working hand in hand with the Department of Tourism to promote different tourist destinations in the Philippines. Para at least prior pa man nga maghambal kita, for example, nga mag-visit kita sa ibang country, it is first, we are encouraging ang aton nga iban nga mga co-Filipinos to visit Philippines first. Okay? So, visit Philippines first para nga at least we can have, we can help those who were displaced because of the pandemic. Okay, so what is the mission of the Department of Tourism? So the Department of Tourism is tasked with the mission of generating foreign currency and employment. That's number one. Generating foreign currency and employment. Number two, spreading the benefits of tourism to a wider segment of the population with the support, assistance, and cooperation of both the private and public sector. And number three, ensuring the safe, convenient, enjoyable stay and travel of foreign and local visitors in the Philippines. Guys, before I proceed, you can see my slide, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so again, no, ano ang mission sang DOT? First one is to generate foreign currency and employment. Okay, foreign currency. When we have guests who are visiting Philippines, visiting Philippine tourist destinations, of course, they bring with them money. And with that, they are using it para sa ilang pagkaon, hotel, tour guide, shopping. That is why that we need guests para mabuhi ang aton nga tourism industry sa Philippines. Number two is to spread the benefits of tourism to a wider segment of the population with the support, assistance, and cooperation of both the private and public sector. So, we have to inform, okay? It is our duty to inform others, okay? Nga aman. If damo sa mag-visit sa isa sina ka lugar, of course, damo ang revenue nga ma-generate sa isa ka lugar, which in turn, damo ang ila bayaran nga taxes, damo ang ila employees nga i-hire, so it is more of a domino effect. Kung damo kita damo kita sang guest, damo kita sang tourist, damo man sang spend nga money, of course, ang public or ang managa-star dira nga mga locals will be given a job. Be it a tour guide, boatman, nagabaligya sang souvenir. So these are some. Okay? Another one is to ensure the safe, convenient, enjoyable stay and travel of foreign and local visitors in the Philippines. Most of you took the class, ang tour guiding with me, and isa gid ini sa aton nga gin-discuss regarding sa pag-ensure sa safety, the convenience, and how to have an enjoyable stay sang guests, not only foreign visitors, but also local visitors in the Philippines. Okay. Tourism National Strategy. Okay, so just please bear with me, no? So these are very topics that are not very interested, but you need to know this. Okay, later on we will have more interesting topics nga makashare ang every one of you during the presentation. But for now, we need to have a background first on what is the role of the Department of Tourism. Okay. So sa Tourism National Strategy, they formulate an integrated sustainable tourism management plan for Central Philippines, identifying viable critical environmental, infrastructure, and community-based project to link and integrate the tourism development of the area. So, paano ginaobra ang isa ka tourism management plan? Okay, number one, we need to have a comprehensive framework for the development of tourism para sa isa ka regional economy. So we need to check first if this is a viable area. We need to check first if this area can generate guests, can generate tourists. Can this be identified as an emerging tourist destination? Number two, elaborate a vision of the future direction and content of tourism development, which can help to focus and guide the actions of the various stakeholders toward a shared goal. Number three, identify areas for tourism development, related tourism facilities, and supporting infrastructure. Number four, specify the major programs, roles, and responsibilities of key players, institutional arrangement, and resource requirements for achieving the vision of the department. Now, what are the powers and functions of the department? Number one is to formulate tourism policies, plans, and projects for the development of tourism as an engine of socio-economic and cultural growth. So, if there is any department na nagaobra sang plano or nag-execute sang project with regards to the tourism, it is the Department of Tourism. Number two, they supervise and coordinate the implementation of tourism policies, plans, and projects. So, Although we are an archipelago, no, and we are governed by different regional offices sang Department of Tourism, still it is the Department of Tourism main office who are supervising and coordinating the implementation ng different nga mga policies, plans, and project that are being done and needs to be done. Number 3, or the letter C, call upon all agencies of government to carry out their programs in relation to and in coordination with the policies, plans, and project of the department and to assist in the implementation. Number 4, communicate to the president and the heads of department, agencies, and instrumentalities of the government the impact upon tourism and the economy of proposed governmental action. Okay, let me explain to you thoroughly ang number 4. Ang aton subong secretary, si Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat, being the head of the Department of Tourism, she has the power and then the responsibility to inform ang heads or the different secretaries of the different departments in the Philippines as well as the directors ng ibang agency kung ano ang maging impact sang mga ginaubra sang government, kung ano ang maging impact sang ginaubra sang government sa tourism sector naton and also sa growth of tourism. Ano ang example? Ang aton yung mga visitors who are coming from abroad, previously, they are being required to do a 14-day quarantine. These visitors nga nagakadto sa Philippines, amo na ni sila ang naka-swab test and tested negative already. Pero if they want to visit Philippines, they will still have to do a 14 days quarantine. Imagine mo if they only have 15 days to travel. 14 days quarantine, wala na sang may mabilin. That is why sometimes nagkakaproblema because of the guest nga hambal nila, hindi na lang kami magdayon because may RT-PCR na kami, may swab test na kami. How come nga gina-require pa kami mag-quarantine? Of course, that is for the safety of the Philippines. So hambal ni Secretary Puyat, sige, what we're going to do is we will work with the different agencies. For example, Department of Health, Department of Tourism, Department of Trade and Industry, IATF, nga kung may mga guest kita who are planning to go and visit Philippines kag may swab test na kita, we can limit ang ilang quarantine into 7 days. Okay, so if may 7 days ikaw nga quarantine and then you have another 7 days to biyahe, I think that is enough. That is why it is one of the function of the Department of Tourism nga mag-communicate sa President and the department heads on how ang aton nga tourism industry magkaroon or mahatagan sang impact because of the policies that are being given by the national government. Okay, I hope that I made clear about that. Letter E, provide an integrated market development program to attract people to visit the Philippines and enhance the prestige of the country and the Filipino people in the international community. Okay, so the Department of Tourism is making different programs para maka-attract, okay, maka-attract sang mga turista, maka-attract sang mga guests nga mag-visit sa Philippines. And of course, please take note, enhance the prestige of the country. Okay, so pagadalon, okay, ang image sang Philippines and the Filipino people in the international community. Still the powers and functions of the department. Letter F, represent the government in all domestic and international conferences and fora, and in all multilateral or bilateral treaties and international agreements concerning tourism, and ensure the government's implementation thereof and compliance with all obligations arising therefrom. So, in case, for example, nga may-ara sa mga domestic and international conferences and forum, it is the Department of Tourism nga nag-spearhead para sa amo sini nga mga activities. It is the responsibility of DOT nga mag-spearhead to attend sa mga international forums and conferences para what? Nga ano? Ma-enhance ang prestige of the country and the Filipino people in the international community. Okay. Continuation of the functions of the department. Request the president for representation in all government agencies, offices, boards, commissions, and committees that may affect tourism. Letter H, call upon relevant government department, agencies, and offices in consultation with private sector to provide access to travel, to facilitate the process of obtaining and extending visa, to integrate and simplify travel regulation and immigration procedure, and to ensure their efficient, fair, and courteous enforcement, to assure expeditious and hospitable reception of all visitors. Okay, another one. Another one is the letter I. Support, advance, and promote the protection, maintenance, and preservation of historical, cultural, and natural endowments in cooperation with appropriate government agencies and the private sector, and to take appropriate measures against acts and omissions contrary to these objectives. Another one, letter J, monitor conditions of any community in the Philippines and, in consultation with the LGUs and law enforcers, issue timely advisories on the safety or viability of travel to particular places within the Philippines, and on patronage of entities engaged in tourism-related activities and of tourism products. Okay, so with letter J, it is also the responsibility of the Department of Tourism to inform not only ang mga local visitors, but also the international visitors sang nagkalain-lain or different nga mga travel advisories on the safety or viability of travel. If there are some problems, or let's say, for example, situation that calls for Department of Tourism to inform the public nga hindi ka pwede diri magkadto or limit ang pag-visit diri. It is the responsibility of the Department of Tourism to inform the public ahead of time para nga wala sang mabutang sa alang-alang or hindi mabutang sa malain nga situation ang mga guest. Guys, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Let me
Yes, sir.
Kasi natulugan na kamuda, ha? Okay, let me continue. Okay, so another one is to evaluate tourism development project for the issuance of permits and the grant of incentives by appropriate government agencies, establish a data bank of tourism areas and projects for investment purposes, and encourage private sector investment and participation in tourism activities and projects. Okay, I'm going to skip same lang ang L. I'm going to skip L and M. Let's try to look letter N. Ensure the proper coordination integration, prioritization, and implementation of local development plans with that of the national government. Of course, with the consultation of the LGU and the different stakeholders. Okay. Provide technical assistance to LGUs in destination development, standard setting, and regulatory enforcement. Now, let's say for example, ang isa ka LGU, may ara sila sa isa ka emerging tourist destination. Before i-open into public, a technical assistance consultation has to be done together with the LGU concerning as well as the national government in representation by the Department of Tourism on how they are going to help this LGU sa pag-develop sining destination. That is why nga before pa kita magkadto sa mga tourist destinations, may ara na nga daan na sang approval from the Department of Tourism nga pag naghambal sila, yes, open to the public na. Pwede na kamo maka-accept sang guest. It is at par with the standard. Okay? So, dira nagasulod ang National nga Department of Tourism. Letter P, undertake continuing research, studies, and survey to analyze economic condition and trends relating to tourism and travel, and compile and integrate a statistical data bank on the tourism industry. Q, delegate to regional offices in coordination with the LGU's specific powers and functions in the implementation of tourism policies, plans, and projects. And R, collect necessary fees and charges for the proper implementation of tourism policies, plans, and projects. And S, exercise powers and functions and are necessary for the implementation of this act, the RA 9593. Okay, so we are going to look at the powers and functions of DOT with regard sa mga department structure and offices. So damo sila sang mga ginatawag natin yung mga offices who are doing different jobs at the same time. Okay? So, ang Department of Tourism, we have the offices of the Secretary. We have undersecretaries and assistant secretaries. We have department offices, services unit, regional and foreign offices. Okay. Now, with regional office, may ara kita sang in every region, may ara kita nga DOT region offices. So, in Region 6, ang office is located in Iloilo. So, ang Region 6 office is located in Iloilo, and mainly, ang gina-cater sini are projects that are being governed by the LGUs of Aklan, Antique, Capiz, Iloilo, Guimaras, and Negros. We also have the foreign offices. So usually, ang foreign offices, they are the one responsible sa pag-promote sa Philippines as a destination, and usually these offices are attached to the consulate or the embassies sa iban nga mga countries. Okay, so ang first office is the Office of Product Development. So Office of Product Development, functions include the conceptualization and development of new product which will enhance tourism sites and facilities. So diri nga office, gina-develop nila ang lagkalain-lain nga mga tourism sites, tourism products, or mga research kung ano pa ang mga tourism areas nga pwede i-open both to the public, mga Filipinos or foreign visitors, and also kung ano ang mga facilities that needs to be done or that needs to be constructed. Another one is the Office of Tourism Development Planning, Research, and Information Management. Tasked with the preparation, formulation, monitoring, and evaluation of policies, plans, and program of the DOT, including the National Tourism Development Plan. Next one is the Office of Industry Manpower Development. So it is tasked, among others, of conducting seminars on Philippine history, culture, environment, and related subjects in coordination with the appropriate government agencies and the private sector. Number 4, the Office of Tourism Standards and Regulation. Okay, so the Office of Tourism Standard and Regulation is tasked with formulating and enforcing internationally competitive standards of facilities and services. So, amo ini nga office ang task para mag-ubra, kag mag-formulate, kag mag-enforce na ang standards ng aton mga facilities and services that are being offered are par with the international standard. Or sometimes, ang ginatawag natin that are highly competitive. So, ila ina office. So, nagkalain-lain niya office, lain-lain ang director, but with a common goal, no? To promote Philippines as a destination, as a tourism destination. Number 5, the Office of Tourism Coordination. They are tasked to increase linkages between various government offices and the private sector, among others, the various entities in the private sector itself to properly implement tourism policy. And number 6, the Office of Tourism Resource Generation. So, diri naman niya sila, they are the one nga nagaubra sa mga policies in order to generate revenue. For example, ang Tourism Promotions Board, which is I am a member, the development of infrastructure facilities, utilities, and services of TIESA, or the Tourism Infrastructure and Enterprise Zone Authority. That is why, when you are traveling outside of the country, nagabayad kita sang travel tax. Which is ang travel tax, this is the budget nga ginagamit naton ginagamit sang Department of Tourism to implement the different projects that they want to implement. Okay. So diin ini ginagamit, for example, with the budget coming from TIESA, they can build more airports or develop airports nga daw medyo hindi na at standard internationally. Pagpa-put up sang different ng mga markers sang mga tourism sites and sites, as well as of course for the trainings sang ilang mga employees, and then at the same time budget sa pag-promote sang Philippines outside of the country. Okay, so what are the agencies and corporations attached to the Department of Tourism? Ang Tourism's Promotion Board, previously the Philippine Convention and Visitors Corporation, is hereby organized as the TPB, the Tourism Promotions Board. This is an association, okay? So, the Bureaus for Domestic and International Tourism Promotions and the Office of the Tourism Information of the DOT are hereby absorbed into the TPB. Another one is TIESA, which is the Tourism Infrastructure and Enterprise Zone Authority. Another one is the Duty Free Philippines Corporation. This is where you can get products, no? Tax-free, duty-free. So this is being handled, or ang ginatawag naton nga GOCC, or ang government-owned and controlled corporation. So ang Duty Free Philippines Corporation is the one running the Duty Free Philippines stores sa mga airports naton sa Philippines. Usually, these are international airports. Another one is the Intramuros Administration, tasked with the restoration and development of Intramuros, the walled city of Manila. Another one is the National Parks Development Committee. The primary purpose of developing and maintaining assigned parks, specifically the Rizal Park of Manila or Luneta, the Paco Park, the Puok ni Maria Makiling, and the Burnham Park in Baguio. So these are all governed by the National Parks Development Committee, which are directly attached to the office of the Secretary of the Department of Tourism. Another one is the Nayong Filipino Foundation. So this is tasked with the mission of enshrining the rich national heritage of the Filipino through the authentic depiction of customs and traditions and of natural and historical legacies. Another one is the Philippine Commission on Sports Scuba Diving. The PICC, the PCVC, the Philippine Convention and Visitors Corporation. This is the promotional arm of the DOT. And of course, the Philippine Tourism Authority, the implementing arm of the DOT for policies and programs pertaining to the development, promotion, and supervision of Philippine tourism infrastructure projects. Okay. Before I proceed, let me have a 5-minute break for everyone. I will start at 11:55. You may get some water if you want. I will still have some more topics to be discussed, after which I will be open sa mga questions if you have. Okay? So I will be back in 5 minutes. Would that be okay, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes, sir.
Shall we continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, continue.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope you were able to take your lunch na, no? Basi gutumon ka mo sa ako niya ginadiscuss sa inyo. Okay, let's continue now. So the Tourism Infrastructure Program. So the Department of Tourism, in accordance with the National Tourism Development Plan and local government initiatives, shall coordinate with the Department of Public Works and Highways and the Department of Transportation and Communication in the establishment of a tourism infrastructure program in the respective work programs of said agencies, identifying therein vital access roads, airports, seaports, and other infrastructure requirement in identified tourism areas. So, isa ini sa pinaka-program ged sang Department of Tourism. Una, we need to have airports that are world-class standard. Access roads. That is why, if I can remember, sa program subong ni President Duterte, we have the Build, Build, Build program, which will benefit ang Department of Tourism as well as, of course, ang the tourism industry. Gin-develop ang mga seaports as well as nagpadugang in coordination with the private sector, nagdugang sa mga cell sites para nga ang guest naton hindi mabudlayan if may ara sila sang mga kinahanglanon. Others are hospitals nga naga-cater, of course, sa mga areas, especially if may ara kita sang mga areas nga identified as tourism areas, dapat may ara man nga hospital, access roads, infrastructures are all in place dapat. So, what are some of the Department of Tourism projects? Okay, so in 1994, we have the Visit Island Philippines. We have the Miss Universe Beauty Pageant in 1994. In 1998, the Floricultura, an international horticulture exhibition. 1998, the Expo Filipino, the Philippine Centennial International Exposition. 2003, the Visit Philippines, 2003, and then the WOW Philippines. Okay, now, it's more fun in the Philippines. So, during January 2012, the Department of Tourism launched a global campaign under the simple yet memorable slogan, "It's more fun in the Philippines." I believe ginsend ko ni sa inyo ang different nga mga slogans nga ginubra sang DOT nga makakatch sang attention not only of the Filipinos but as well as, of course, sang mga tourists based abroad. So, raising awareness of the country as a tourism destination and establishing favorable perception of the Philippines were the main objectives of the campaign, as many foreigners remain unaware of the Philippines. We are going to discuss this later on. Okay, so please think it over. Ano ya if the Philippines is unaware sila that sometimes existing gali ang Philippines, or if they are existing, where is it? Is it in Asia? In Africa? Because may ara yang mga foreigners that they don't know about Philippines. So, there are other naman nga balaan nila, ang Philippines, amuni, so there are negative, okay? So may mga negative sides man, may mga negative stories man sila nga mabatian, okay? Now, what are the deterrents to the growth of tourism? Though several factors hamper the growth of tourism, so ano ang mga factors or ano ang iban nga mga nag-hinder sa pag-growth sang tourism? Okay, una gid is the domestic political uncertainty in the country. Political uncertainty. So if the guest, actually even lang diri sa Philippines, I don't know kung pila na sa aton ang naka-visit sa Sulu, sa Tawi-Tawi, or sa mga puntagi dira sa Mindanao. Why? It is because we hear stories of kidnapping, NPA, We hear stories mga kidnapping gid, mga amuna no, mga bombings. So these are some, or basilan, right? So not all hindi nila gusto magkadto sa basilan. But I have some friends na nakakadto sila sa basilan that they said it is a very good tourism destination. Pero nga damo ang hindi gusto magkadto because they are afraid. Okay, afraid sila. Filipino na. Afraid sila magkadto because something may happen. So how much more pa ang mga foreigners? They don't speak the language. Wala sila sang kilala. Because of this one, sometimes nag-hamper ang growth of tourism. Hindi gid ma-improve ang tourism because of the domestic political uncertainty in the country. Number 2 is the constant threat of insurgency in areas with natural attractions. Number 3, inadequacy of accommodation with standards of quality befitting foreign tourists. This is very timely because kita yung mga Filipino, okay na sa ato naka-double deck kita. Ang CR naton ginatabunan lang sang kawayan or sang trapal sometimes sa mga tourist areas nga hindi pa masyado developed. I have been to Gigantes Island. Wala sila sang fresh water. Pero kita yang mga Filipino, okay lang. Pwede kita yung maligo sa dagat and then pagkatapos ang ibanlaw ta dagat, tubig, dagat man Japon, kag mag-ilis. Malagkit. I don't know in Tagalog, in Ilonggo. Mapilit lang, but it's okay. Pero if we have foreign tourists, sometimes ang quality of service hindi nila gusto. That is why hindi kita maka-attract sang damo nga mga foreign guests because of the inadequacy of accommodation with standard of quality service nga nagabefit sa foreign tourist. Number 4 is the absence, of course, of a culture of tourism. Number 5, the lack of transportation system to move efficiently and comfortably and lower cost, large number of tourists to other attractions outside Luzon and from one destination to another. This is very true. Diri kita from Boracay, if we want to go to other destinations in Panay Island, by drive lang. If you are in Manila and if you want to go to El Nido, madrive ka, pero taman ka Budlay, taman ka Kapoy. If you are going to Coron, wala man sang nami gid nga transportation except if you're going to fly kay may airport. Pero if you are from Puerto Princesa going to El Nido then to Coron, it will take you 2 to 3 days to travel because 18 hours nga daan because it's a separate island. Now, with the lack of transportation, support from the government with this kind, hindi naton masyado ma-promote ang amuni nga mga island destination. Although nami, because they have beautiful beach, nami ang locals, you can relax, but because of the lack of transportations, mabudlay. Ginapili na lang nila ining mga destinations nga damo sang tawo. Which are, let's say for example, Cebu, Boracay, nga hapos niya ang transportation. Another example is the province of Romblon. Romblon is a very good destination, pero ang transportation is very difficult. Mabudlay magkadto. That is why hindi gid ma-promote sang LGU or local government unit ang Romblon because of this. Next is the lack of secondary attractions around primary destinations. Hambalun Taabi. Nagkadto ako sa Boracay. Hindi ako magstay sa Boracay for 5 nights para maligo lang. Ano pa ang iba nga attractions nga pwede ko ubrahon sa Boracay? Kadto ako sa Bacolod. After ko makakadto sa Kampuestuhan, kag makakadto ako sa hot spring nila dito nga I forgot the name, sorry. Ano pa ang other nga mga secondary attractions nga pwede ko kadtuan that would made me stay? Meaning, kung magstay ako for 1 night and I stay for extra night, that would mean additional 3 nights at 3 days nga 3 meals So, magasto na naman ko for the food. Mas stay na naman ko sa hotel. It could have been a revenue, additional revenue sa LGU, pero mapuli na lang kuya sa Iloilo. One day lang ko sa Bacolod nga. Wala naman sa iba niya secondary attractions nga pwede ko kadtuan. Hindi man pwede nga, mambukal, right? For example, sa Bacolod, nagkadto na ko sa Kampuestuhan, dayon nakapamambukal na ko. Ano pa dayon? Wala na ko sang pwede iban pangakadtuan. Magkadto ta di sa Capiz. Ang mga tao sa Capiz, mga guests nagakadto dire, pero they only stay sometimes day tour lang. Mas seafood di kita, mas seafood capital. But the seafood here are more expensive as compared sa Iloilo or sa Batangas. Nga makadto dire ang mga guests to have seafood if they could get the same seafood sa iba niya lugar nga mas barato. Granted nga nagkadto di sila, after ko magkadto sa Panay Church, kag magkaon sa baybay, diin pa ko makadto. Amo na ang ginamin nga lack of secondary attractions. Wala na sang other options. Once nga nakadtuan ko na ang primary destination, ano pa? Ano pa ang pwede ma-offer? So, isama na sa amon nga gina-permit, ginadebatihan diri even lang sa province of Capiz. Paano naton mapastay ang aton guest sa Capiz for 3 days, 2 nights? What are the destinations, attractions nga pwede naton ma-offer sa ila para magstay sila dire for 3 days, 2 nights? 3 days, 2 nights would mean 2 nights stay sa hotel. 9 meals sa Capiz, sa restaurant. 3 days nga transportation sang aton diri nga mga tourist car transportation. So, domino effect siya. Kung magstay ang tourist, damo man sang revenue. Pero kung wala sila sang kadtuan, nga stay di sila. Amo na ang ginamin sang lack of secondary attractions around primary destinations. Okay? So, in conclusion, the aggressive effort of the Department of Tourism and the participation of the private sector with deliberate push from the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry to upgrade and expand the tourism-related infrastructure, facilities, amenities, and systems present a bright future for the tourism industry. After all, it is one industry where we have a permanent competitive edge over our ASEAN neighbors' proximate geographical location to emerging tourist markets, more attractive natural wonders, and warm and friendly people. So, guys, that ends my presentation. Let me just do this stop sa ako niya sharing. Okay. Currently, I have 77 students. Thank you so much for staying. Okay. So, I have a question. Okay. And this question is addressed to anyone who wants to answer. Just raise your hand. Okay. Ang iban, can you please press ang inyong hand para magpanubo, please? Azares, Lauren, Nico, Angela. Okay. Jamela. Okay, thank you so much. So these are some of the questions, okay? No correct, no wrong answers. Okay. Now, ang first question ko is addressed to you as my students, practicing tourism industry practitioners, okay? Now, my question is, being you as a student, ano ang inyo pwede ma-contribute sa national government naton, or let's say for example, ano ang inyo pwede ma-suggest nga despite of the COVID pandemic that we are facing right now, paano ninyo i-encourage ang mga foreign visitors to visit Philippines? Take note ha, foreign visitors. Okay? So, is there anyone who wants to answer? Okay. Anybody? Naghililipo sila yatanan. Sige. Let me call on Nico? Nico Divino?
Yes, sir.
Ikaw gidya ako nalawagan, Nico, kay naka-red ka. Nico, how are you going to encourage foreign visitors to visit Philippines despite the COVID pandemic that we are experiencing right now in the Philippines? Can you please open your camera, Nico, please?
Wait lang, sir. Wait lang, sir.
Sure.
Wait lang, sir, kayo gahin ako nila.
Okay, while waiting for Nico, I would like to call on... sure, Nico, go ahead, please. I can see you now.
Hi, sir. For me, Goro, sir, is to get what the satisfaction nga. Wait lang, sir. Kaya yung alam ng box, sir.
Sure.
For me, sir, I think that we can persuade them, foreign people, to visit here in the Philippines is to get what they want, the satisfaction. I think relocating some here sa Philippines, example lang sir sa Raw City, sir.
Mhm.
Ang mga planning, ang mga I dumay na here kung wala sir nga they are planning relocating sa Baybay bala sir sa may People's Park. They relocating some designs and siguro sa ano bala sir ang front bala sir sang People's Park. And I think the view bala sir sang ano do I think hindi lang siya dapat ordinary lang or sa Philippines ay inside sa iban man nga lugar sa diri sa Philippines nang namion pagid ang mga front views or inang mga visible nga makita sang
Yes.
sang tao bala sir kag amo man na hindi lang sa ano sa I think ano pa sa sir i-promote siya sa social media kag because hindi man makita nga daan sang mga tourist sa mga foreign ang kung mismo nga ano gani sila na mismo makita sa social media di attract dito kumaga gina-persuade sila kumaga ang ang satisfaction na makita lang sa social media ang mga front view yata mga ano pagit sir i-relocate i-conceptualize kag ano pagit sir i-promote pagid well and I think the ano pagit sir the what another planning pagid sir sa ano sa mga departments where could be really ano sir to attract them yeah sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nico. I like your answer. I get your point, no? It's more of we have to make it more attractive para nga mas makakuha kita actually sa mga guests, not only from the locals but also from the foreign. Thank you so much. Nico, sino ang ara sa right mo?
Ako ang sa last gidabi sir. So ako left sir si Crisel sir.
Oh, Crisel. Crisel, I have the same question from you. Thank you, Nico.
Thanks sir.
Crisel, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Crisel, ikaw ang next because ara ka sa tupad ni Nico. Were you able to listen to the presentation that I made?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so same question goes with you, Crisel.
For me, siguro, sir, we can persuade them to visit the Philippines.
Can you open your camera, Crisel, please?
Wait lang, sir.
Thank you. Go ahead.
again, for me, sir, I think we can persuade the foreign tourists to visit the Philippines for them to be able to relax for a little bit now. Even though there is a pandemic going on, the destinations in the Philippines are much, or rather, I'm sorry, less crowded than the past, so they can enjoy and take time with nang wala bala masyado damo nga ano tawag ni disturbo sir kay di ba sa
Mhm.
una sa pandemic masyado ka crowded so hindi nila masyado ma-enjoy kag hindi sila masyado ka relax kay muna gani madamo nga tawo ang um visit man sa destinations. And of course, it is safe man mag-visit sa Philippines because the destinations here and tourism facilities follows the safety protocols.
Thank you so much, Crystal. I like your idea. Yes. Actually, i-open ano yung camera, please. Actually, it's very cheap currently to visit even in Boracay because even gani ang hotel, even in Shangri-La, sang una nga tag 15,000, they could get it for like, let's say, 3,000 to 5,000 pesos. So for as long as may ata na sila sang RT-PCR, and then pagkatapos they are already vaccinated, so that suggestion, your answer is very good, Ged, nga maka-attract kita because we need guests, we need tourists in order nga maka-start kita sa pag-revive sang aton nga tourism nga industry. Thank you, Crizel. Who is on your left, by the way?
Left, sir? Wala, sir?
Yeah? O sa punta ka man?
Oo, sir.
Okay. On your left here is Mark Algin. Algin, are you present? Thank you, Crizel.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Bargo, same question goes to you. Can you please open your camera?
Okay na, sir.
Yeah, how are you, by the way?
Okay lang, sir.
You're wearing mask. Are you outside?
Sulod, sir. Sa sulod.
Okay. So,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
so siguro, sir, yung pagpakita not only for the local but also for the national that the people here in the Philippines is not caring all about themselves but also for someone like the tourists around the world. In terms sa health bala, sir, right now, lalo na at we are facing the COVID-19, para mas may kayat sila na to visit us kasi safety din sila dito. And yung problema kasi, sir, is yung COVID-19 right now, which is kung muna man ang masolusyonan naton, mas madamo asang mga gagmay nga mga branches nga maging intact siya kay managanambal nila kung anong problema muna man ang solusyonan. So ara man lang ang answer within the problem. So kung ang problema ang una tang solusyonan biskan gamay lang siya, mas dako nga granted para sa aton kag ma-take advantage ta na sa. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. See, I like the answers nga inyo ginapanghatag. You are really mga future nga mga tourism practitioners in the Philippines. Okay? I would like to hear one more before I give another question. I only have 2 questions. Miss Trexia May Boro, you want to say something? Trexia, Miss Boro?
Yes, sir. Ako, sir.
Go ahead, please, Miss Boro. Thank you for volunteering.
So, para sa akong bala, sir. So, ang need
Open your
pagbalangin.
camera, please.
No, iyak ako, char.
Open na.
No, yeah, ako po.
Open your camera. Okay.
So, para... Okay. So para sa akon, sir, need pagid balang improve ang promotional video bala sir diri sa Philippines. Kay nakita ko dabi, sir, sa mga promotional video do naka-focus lang sila bala sir sa tourist attraction. So gusto ko tani bala sir i-expand gid ang culture, tradition, the way of living of the people in that particular area. Do para sa akon, sir, do muna iya sir nakaka-attract bala sa akon nga do ginasidus nila kung makadto gid ko dira ma-experience ang amoy na nga ila nga gina sa muna nga area bala sir. So kag isa pa gid sir, ang mga officer bala sir sa mga tourism, gusto ko tani kay, di ba sir, ga-report ina sa ladira regarding sa mga kaklatabo.
Yeah.
So gusto ko tani bala sir nga ma-surprise visit sila sa muna nga persabi sa mga establishment like sa mga hotel. Do i-check bala nila sir kung kamusta ang ila dira nga ang ila pag-asikaso kung sakto bala or hindi. Kay may ara nga daan sir kung kisa nga ang mga report bala sir though ginapinabuang nga lang nila. So based lang na sa akon sir nga na experience. So muna lang sir. So need lang gid nga i-expand ang promotional video diri sa Philippines kag ma-surprise visit ang mga officers sa mga every tourism establishments sir. So
Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Boro. Yes, I really like your answer. No, isa gid ina sa kinahanglan nga obrahon para maka-attract kita is for the promotional video. I remember sa tour guiding kamo, there are others sa inyo who made the promotional video and tour guiding sa international and may ara man sa domestic. Actually, one sang nag-attract sang ako nga attention is ang video nga ginobra ni Mr. Landingen and ni Mr. Paso. Are these two gentlemen still here? John Miguel, are you here? Oh, si John. You're here,
Yes, sir.
no? And then okay. Sige. So the video that they made actually, I'm sure, not only their video, but as well as the other videos made by your classmates are really well done based sa inyong understanding on the promotion, okay, of the tourism dito sa Philippines. Okay. Ang akon nga second question, and I only need at least 3 answers lang. Okay? I only need 3 answers and I'm actually taking note kung sino ang mga nagsabat. Okay? So, this is more of a local. Okay? Here is my question. Are the tourist attractions situated in the province of Capiz are worth staying for 3 days, 2 nights? Or do we need to have other destinations diri sa Capiz or secondary attractions para ma-attract naton ang aton mga guests? Who wants to answer? Let me call on Jarla. Maureen? Jarla, are you present?
Yes, sir.
Nadakpan ka ni Jarla.
Ano
Jarla,
liwat sir mo ang question, sir?
can you turn on the camera, please?
Wait lang.
Go, ma'am. Shmato.
Wait lang gid, sir.
Please.
Okay. Ay. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jarla. Okay, here's my question. Are you from Capiz?
Yes, sir.
Where in Capiz?
Sa Ross City, sir, Barangay 7.
Okay, sige. Here's my question and to be answered also by some of your classmates. Ang aton bala diri nga mga tourist attraction sa Capiz enough para magstay ang aton guest for 3 days, 2 nights or for 1 day lang gid ang mga attraction naton diri?
Ako na, sir, nang damo man di sang mga tourist attraction ang Capiz, like sa mga Olutayan, Dabi, sa Ibisan, mga like sa Palm Coast Beach Resort bala, sir. But, ano pa dito sa Kulasi ang The Edge and especially ang sa Baybay, sir.
So you think these are enough for the guests to stay for like 3 days?
Yes, sir, especially ang Capiz is called as ang seafood capital of the Philippines, sir. So I guess mapastay gid ang mga guests, sir, for about 3 years. At 3 days.
Grabe man sa 3 years. 3 days, right? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jarla.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
We would like to hear from Miguel. Are you here, Mr. Landingen?
Yes,
Wait.
sir.
Miguel, are you here?
Sir.
Hi. Can you hear? Can you hear me? John Miguel, can you hear me? Oh, I think erratic ang signal ni JM. Mr. Paso, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, John, I have a question for you. Do you think that the travel destinations or tourist attractions here in Capiz are sufficient enough para magstay ang aton mga guests? Jarla, can you please mute your mic, please?
Medyo ako net, sir, pero intindihan ko man. Imo pa mga sir, about, sir, kung worthy, sir, ang pag-stay sang visitors dito sa Capiz for 3 nights. Ganun, sir?
For 3 days, 2
By
nights.
3 days,
Yes,
2 nights.
that's my
So para
question.
sa akon, sir, worthy man, sir, ang pag-stay dito sa tourist kay madaw makita destinations ng mga manamit dito sa Capiz. Pero for me, sir, we need to mayara, sir, para sa akon sang short-term and long-term solution, sir. So for me, ang short-term solution ko dira, sir, is we need to create or recreate, sir, sang mga programs nga makapa-promote sa aton nga mga best nga mga destinations diri sa Capiz, sir. Not only, sir, nga ipakilala lang, pero kailangan, sir, nga maengganyo ginato ng mga tourist nga hindi lang gali mo niya nga aton nga maipakita kundi merap gid iban nga kita nga pwede sa ilang nga maihatag kag ma-experience man nila pagkato nila diri. So next, sir, second, sir, siguro we need to we need to focus, sir, sa public relations ba, sir, kag sa mga advertisement campaign bala, sir, nga para syempre kay dugang may lagi man sir at mga advertisement bala, sir, nga sir, sa ka-promote sa Capiz. So mas dapat kailangan natin gid maghatag pag ba, sir, sang damo pag mga promotional videos para ma-encourage ang mga tourist. Sa ano naman sa mga sa long term solution ko naman, sir, siguro ang mga head, sir, guro, sir, sang tourism bala, sir, management, kailangan pag nila, sir, magplano, pag nila, sir, mag-revise kag mag-focus, sir, sa marketing plan bala, sir, sa Capiz para mag-show para magpakita pag sa purpose, sang creativity, kag sang execution bala, sir, nga mas makapaplano makaplano pag kita, sir, nga maka-create sa mga programs nga maka-showcase ang aton nga history, sang aton background kay para pagkato nila diri, sir, ma-experience nila bala mismo. For example, nanabi, sir, sa tong rantaw ko ning kay JM de la Serna bala, sir, sa KMJS yata yun. Nagkadto siya sa Pilar or sa Lictinon Falls. So bali pagkato niya dito, abot niya pa lang dito nga lugar. So muto nag-hiking siya dito, tapos muto nag-promote sila sang pag-abot dito nang miyara to cultural heritage ba, sir, nga na-experience niya nga muto ang kultura dito, ang pagpanamit, ang mga pagkaon, mga ganun bala, sir. So we need lang natin, kailangan na gid natin, sir, nga i-promote lang gid bala nga mag-create kita sa mga videos like gamud to nga para mahikayat pag mga visitors nga not only sa mga sa local but also international, sir.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
I really like your answer. Thank you so much for that one. Okay, guys, I think I am very much satisfied with some of the students who participated. I hope that the rest of you also will participate sa next pa naton, yung mga discussions. I will be sending you a copy of the PowerPoint that I have used for today, as well as the recorded na presentation. I will be posting it in our YouTube channel if you want to go over again sa aton nga topic. Okay, and then for our last for the last thing that I will do, can you please, those who were able to open their camera, please, can you please open your camera? I'll just take a photo as a proof sa aton nga class for today, please. Nico, wala na ka mo nagalakat kay Sean Subungaw.
Na COVID sa, sir.
Oh, how is he?
Okay na sa, sir.
He's doing good na.
Hipos lang, sir.
Yeah, sure. Ano lang ha, maghalong ka mo, Permi, okay? Wear mask and always wash your hands. Okay, sige. Sige, ang naka-open lang ang camera, amo lang na yung ako niya ipaan, ha? Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, another one. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I will see you again on Thursday. Goodbye.
Sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye, sir.
Bye!
Goodbye, goodbye.
Sir.